Kaufman believes that we should always survive life's challenges because these experiences will not just make us stronger, it will also become a part of who we are. Good afternoon, Erick. Welcome to the Self-Made Show.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Magandang hapon.
Oh, cute ah. Now, can you share with us your childhood story?
I grew up in Boston, in the U.S., and started my career rather young. I worked and went to school at night, paid for my college that way. Started off in manufacturing and worked my way up through the ranks and eventually into customer service and sales, and I've been very fortunate. I've traveled to 43 countries and I've worked in about 30.
So who pushed you or who inspired you?
My parents did. They were always focused on the family and on us, and they gave us a great life. We came from a very simple environment, very simple upbringing, but it never felt that way.
Or what's your goals at that young age?
Well, to be honest, I had two goals. One goal was to travel the world. I had a lot of interest because my parents had a very eclectic group of friends. Their friends were from all over the world, and it gave me something to be excited about in terms of what I could see as I grew up and maybe traveled. And the other thing was I wanted to reach certain economic goals because I wanted to be able to ensure that I could give my children some of the things that I never had.
So how you handle challenges?
I think the first thing is to look at what has made you successful and what has given you reasons for passion. So I always try to find a place in my heart and in my mind that I am passionate about and committed to. And if I can find that, it allows me to work through just about anything. And that's why one of the things I look for in other people is what makes them passionate. What are they passionate about? What do they care about? Because at the end of the day, that's how you can take your life and your career to the next level.
What brought you to Philippines?
When growing up, my mother's side of the family's Italian. And in the Italian culture, very warm. The social dynamics are very similar. I would go to my grandparents' house, there would be 30 or 40 of us in a very small place. But it would be 4 or 5 generations, and we would talk and hug and share stories around the kitchen and around food. But that feeling is something that I felt again when I came to the Philippines and started to become a real friend with some Philippine families, and it made me feel like some of what I treasured, some of what I felt was really important in life, I could also experience here. So I became interested in the Philippines long term as potentially a place to live and work.
So what is the best talent that Filipino have that you see? I
see a lot of my employees who and people that I've worked with in the past in the Philippines who are really passionate about things, and so I love the passion that they have around growing and learning and sharing, and it's a tremendous workforce, something that I've really come to appreciate.
What's your best advice for our future leaders?
Stick with the company for a little while. Don't have a bad. Everybody has a bad experience. Everybody has a situation when you're at a company where maybe the first reaction is maybe I should go somewhere else. If you went to a company for a reason and that company resonates with you, feels important to you, feels like it's part of something that you could grow with, give it a chance to work through that problem, that challenge. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of our success is defined by how well we work through problems. If we solve a problem and we get through something that's really challenging, it becomes a part of who we are.
How you instill that to your people?
Just imagine as an employee, knowing that your managers are there to ensure your success. You'll behave differently. You'll act differently. You'll take more chances. You'll be unafraid to try things. You'll not be afraid to ask questions. You'll not be afraid to, listen, I know this may not be a smart question or maybe something I should know, but can you help me with this or can you help me with that? When you know that your team, your company, your managers are there for you, it changes the relationship dynamically.
Because of those experiences you're going through with this positive, where do you see Philippines going?
The Philippines is in a great place now. We are seen as a very, very competitive place to do business. And I'm not talking about economically. I'm talking about skills and attitude and capability. And that's only going to get better. So as we look at where we are, which is in a pretty good place, I think that the Philippines will become at some point, if we stay with it, best in class in our space in terms of workforce and capability.
Like everybody now talking about chains. We need chains. Everything chains. What do you think that we need to stay that we don't change?
Culture. Don't be afraid to embrace the history and culture of who you are. So the diversity of who we are here in the Philippines and where we came from, I think is very, very important. So I hope we don't lose that. So if you can take that and you can layer that in with more education, more of that available to all people, there's no stopping what we can do here in the Philippines.
Do you consider yourself successful now?
No, not really. I consider myself a very fortunate guy who is in a position to help people. And I don't necessarily look at that as successful or unsuccessful. To me, what's more important is being happy with what I do and adding value with people around me. So I guess if that's successful, if that's how I define success, then I'm in the process of trying to be successful.
Well, Eric, thank you very much for
Maraming
those
salamat.
information.
Thank you.
And you touch our heart.
Thank you. Maraming salamat. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Ingat.
Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their stories, because if they did it, you can also be called self-made.